Hi guys, so here's the last example, the last walkthrough. Okay, so this one's probably the hardest one out of the four because it has the most at the beginning. So we're going to take a look and we're going to see if we can factor it. So the top is what numbers add and multiply to be 3 and 0 respectively. So x plus 3, x plus 0. And now the bottom is what numbers add and multiply. So it's going to be x plus 1 and x plus 3. Now I'm going to cross out anything that looks alike. So I'm going to do that so that we can see it. I have this x plus 3 and this x plus 3. So over here, that instantly creates a hole in our problem. So I have a hole at what makes this piece equal to 0. So my hole is at -3. Okay, so that part's done. Now the entire point of factoring and crossing stuff out is to make the black type problem easier. And my final equation, x plus 0 or just x, over x plus 1. Now, I don't know about you, but the red one, the final red, looks a lot easier than the typed one. And that's why we do it. Okay. So y-intercepts, again, look like 0 and some number. So let's plug 0 in for x and see what we get. 0 plus 1, which is 0 over 1, which is just 0. So 0, 0. The x-intercept is setting the top equal to 0, so x equals 0. So 0, 0 again. Okay. And now time to use that finalized simplified red version to get the vertical asymptote and the horizontal. So it's the same degree. So I divide the leading coefficients. 1 divided by 1 is 1. My vertical asymptote, I'm going to get rid of those just so it's less to look at. The vertical asymptote is what makes the bottom equal to 0. So x equals -1, and there's all the info. So I'm just writing down the problem so when I scroll, you guys can see it. Okay, so let me just scroll down a little bit so that way we can graph. Now I'm going to erase the top equation so it's less to look at. And now I'm going to also graph the two asymptotes in a different color. So over here, I have an asymptote at y equals 1. That's this one. And x equals -1. And that's that one. So I've now officially used my two asymptotes. I'm going to also put my x and y intercept down at 0, 0. And so I'm going to erase the equations on that point. Now I'm going to use that brown -3 as my hole. I'm going to do that later just so you can see what the heck that looks like. Okay, so it's time to use a little bit of math to figure out, here's -1. Pick numbers to the left of -1 and to the right. So since I have this already on the right, let's finish the right-hand side. I don't know, let's pick 5, just to keep it simple. 5 over 5 plus 1, so 5 over 6, which is it's a decimal that's just less than 1. So if I go to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up, if I connect my dots, they get really close to the asymptotes, but they flatten, and really close and flatten. So my right side is done. Okay, now let's look at the left side. Okay, the left side. I'm going to pick, let's call -2, and let's use, I don't know, let's use -6. Sure. So if I put in -2, I get -2 over -2 plus 1. So -2 over -1 comes out to be +2. So if I go to -2 and then up +2, so -2 up +2, there's my first dot. And now I go -6 over -6 plus 1, which is -6 over -5, which comes out to be 6/5 or 1.2. So I go to -6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and up 1 and change. Okay, so now if I connect my dots, they kind of go uphill. I get closer and closer and closer and flatten out to both of those asymptotes. Okay, so guys, there's the 4 examples. Please, please, please don't panic. If you have any questions, I will be back to talk about them, but just try your best, and that's all I can ask. Thanks, guys.